Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. BlackRock to lay off 3% of their global workforce, which coincidentally, it looks like they did this last year as well, about the same time, January. Can't really figure out why. The reasons they've given don't really make too much sense. And loads of people are like, yeah, that's bollocks, really. Is this ESG and DEI falling apart? Maybe. I'm not going to say that BlackRock in any case is close to collapse. I really hope it would be, quite frankly. I think it's terrible that, a company's become this big and this ingrained in everything. Literally everything. So yeah. But we'll dive into this today. It's interesting. Like I said, I don't think this is, the collapse of BlackRock or anything like that. But maybe there is some sort of hope that ESG and this nonsense, and it is nonsense, let's face it, DEI and ESG, it's total nonsense, it's coming to an end. I hope so. I doubt it, but one can hope. So hit subscribe if you're new here, turn the bell notifications on. Let's take a look at this. So this is just a New York Post article, and they rightly state BlackRock plans to lay off about 3% of the global workforce. And like I said, they actually did something very similar to this last year, in January of 2023. We're obviously now in January 2024. So it's interesting stuff. But BlackRock, the world's largest money management firm, to put it into perspective, the last figures I saw, they have like a wealth bigger than America or something like that. Like, it's genuinely crazy. It's crazy. But they plan to announce layoffs in the coming days of about 3% of its global workforce. And that's what Fox Business has learned. So the job cuts are actually only around 600 employees. So it's not really a big company, actually, when you think about it in terms of employee structure. Which have yet to be reported. They say it's being described internally as routine. Which, I mean, they did routinely do it. They did it last year as well. Which was weird, or they planned to do it last year. But you'd think, like a company that keeps booming, they keep growing and things like that, you'd think that they would not lay people off. But anyway, according to a source familiar, last year BlackRock did a similar round of layoffs, like I said, gauged on employee performance metrics, the source added. So shares of BlackRock rebounded in 2023, up 6% after falling 21% in 2022. New customer money into BlackRock's Solid exchange traded fund business exploded last year with $187 billion of inflow into the products that follow a basket of securities and trade like stocks on major exchanges. They really need to cut this company down. If ever there was a company that's too big and too influential, it's BlackRock and Vanguard. All these huge fund management companies, they all need to go. It's too much. It's way too much. They genuinely have fingers in way too many pies. And they do genuinely try to influence change. I mean, ESG as a fund in itself, right? A fund which is awarded to people, that in and unto itself is a fund designed to generate social change. And it's wrong. Like, in terms of that, I genuinely believe that to be wrong. Especially when it's so polar opposite to what the general populace firmly believes in anyway. At least to the degrees anyway. So on Wednesday, BlackRock is expecting approval of the Securities and Exchange Commission for its new Bitcoin Spot ETF. This is the first time a crypto investment product tracking the daily price of the world's most popular digital coin will be approved by securities regulators to trade on a public stock market. FYI, if I was anyone, I would not fund that. I would not pay into that. Why? Because if anyone's in anyone's pocket, it's BlackRock. BlackRock, in terms of who they buddy up with, who they work with, I wouldn't want to invest in their cryptocurrency. Fuck no. That's the worst possible decision ever. Absolutely ever. Which is quite comical, right? Like, you have crypto trying to be sort of anti-establishment in a way, so it can remove itself from any harms that, say, a government power comes into play, right? And then you invest in a cryptocurrency which is essentially the establishment as well. No, that's such nonsense. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm not an advisor, right? And some people are probably laughing at me, but I just think that defies the very objective point of why you'd have a crypto product in the first place. So I would never invest in that. Anyway, whatever. Basically, it's been approved by securities regulators to trade on a public stock market. Other asset managers are also expecting approval for their ETFs. So a BlackRock spokesman would not comment on the layoffs. BlackRock is scheduled to announce fourth quarter earnings on Friday. One possible impetus for the layoffs is that BlackRock, after years of wild growth in assets under management, or AUM, is setting into a more mature phase in its business. Analyst consensus for earnings in its fourth quarter projects to a 2.46% decline year over year to $8.71 a share. BlackRock finished the third quarter of 2023 with $9 trillion in AUM, though the firm has seen significant asset declines since it reached a peak of more than $10 trillion in 2022 amid wobbly financial markets. The decline in assets also came as BlackRock became a political lightning rod over its embrace of ESG, environmental social governance investing, with direct investment dollars into public companies in the sustainable energy space. But it's not just that, by the way. ESG and DEI is not just sustainable energy. Or those that are taking steps to reduce their carbon footprint and advocate corporate governance measures such as a boardroom diversity. You don't need boardroom diversity. The fact that someone's black doesn't make a difference. The fact that someone's Chinese doesn't make a difference to a boardroom. They just need to be good at what they do. Diversity in a boardroom is it's a fallacy. It's pathetic. Anyway, the firm has been de-emphasizing its ESG business in the US amid the controversy. Fox Business has learned US portfolio managers are no longer required to consider ESG metrics when not using ESG funds. So, I mean, it could be that ESG is collapsing. In 2023, many so-called green investment funds have seen declines in asset amid weak performance as investments in sustainable energy products fail to produce significant returns. Oh, there you go. Trying to force social change doesn't work. So company founder and CEO Larry Fink told Fox Business he won't use the mention of the letters ESG any longer because of the controversies that stirred up into political circles. Yeah, no shit, mate. We all know what you're trying to do. As top Republicans, including several running for the GOP presidential nomination, have attacked BlackRock and ESG, those running pension funds in red states have yanked about $6 billion from BlackRock funds as a form of protest. Good. Noticeably quiet from the BlackRock bashing is the GOP frontrunner, former President Donald Trump. One reason may be because BlackRock once managed Trump's fortune, estimated in the billions of dollars in 2017. Trump said of Fink, "Larry did a great job for me. He managed a lot of my money. I have to tell you, he got me great returns." I mean, sure, fine. People close to BlackRock tell Fox Business that savings from the job cuts will be used to expand its growth businesses such as technology investing and investing in so-called alternative products as opposed to stocks and bonds. ESG, meanwhile, remains a big business with BlackRock's foreign customers. This is what I mean. Like, it's still not gone, but it's definitely, it's going. Including large sovereign wealth funds in Europe and the Middle East. Mark Weidman, head of BlackRock's client businesses, speaking at a recent event sponsored by the news outlet Semaphore, called ESG a demand from clients, with around $1 trillion in pure sustainable assets being managed by BlackRock. And I hope it dies. But hey, look, people losing their jobs are never good, but this company needs to downsize. I think this company's just, ridiculous, quite frankly. But anyway, there you go. Is this the end of ESG? It's definitely in the decline. Is it absolutely smashed, plummeting, bankrupt? No, of course not. Is this BlackRock? Catastrophe? No, it's not. But could this mark the turning of that pendulum swinging another way? Maybe. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear it. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.